Greetings and good morning. My name is Jean McClurken. I use the she series pronouns, and I will be serving as your worship associate this morning. I'm so glad that you are all here for a very uniquely UU service. Several of the coming of age mentors, Dan Spencer, virtually, Devon McClurken and Sheila Rudolph, will be here to lead our service today, focused on Credo statements. Credo is Latin for I believe. Unitarian Universalists believe that only the individual can decide what to believe. While mentoring the coming of age youth, the coming of age 25, 26 mentors were invited to develop their own Credo statements. And a few of them today will share how their lives have been shaped by their beliefs in their reflections. Our summer services here at Winchester Unitarian Society are a unique and special tradition where the services are led by members of the congregation. These members offer their time, words, and spirit to share new perspectives and remind us all of our UU values to embrace each other and community. These values include interdependence. We honor the interdependent web of all existence and acknowledge our place in it. Pluralism. We are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. Justice. We work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all feel welcome and all can thrive. Transformation. We adapt to our ever-changing world. Generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. Equity. We declare that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion. All these values are centered with love. Now, for those of you who may be visiting for the first time, please take a moment to complete the visitor card found in the pew racks in front of you and place them in the pass plates during the offering. I would like to now invite up Devon McClurken to share our opening words.
I'll be reading When Giving is All We Have by Alberto Rios. One river gives its journey to the next. We give because somebody gave to us. We give because nobody gave to us. We give because giving has changed us. We give because giving could have changed us. We have been better for it. We have been wounded by it. Giving has many faces. It's loud and quiet, big though small, diamond in wood nails. Its story is old, the plot is worn, and the pages too. But we read this book anyway, over and again. Giving is, first and every time, hand to hand, mine to yours, yours to mine. You gave me blue, and I gave you yellow. Together, we are simple green. You gave me what you do not have, and I gave you what I had to give. Together, we made something greater from the difference.
And I realize I forgot to let us welcome each other. So how about we do that now? Why don't we turn to the live stream, and my apologies for messing up the order of that, and say hello to all the people that may be watching us, and I know of a few that are listening on trips. So I would also like to give us a moment to turn and greet one another. I'll ring the bell, and then we'll do the chalice lighting. Thanks all. I know, that's why you look at me. I think the sound of that bell is so familiar that we need it in our rhythm. Thank you for letting me do that. I would now like to invite Olson McClurken to come on up and light our chalice while I read these words by Craig Rowland. In an age where words are easy to generate and harder to mean, we pause to light this flame, not to perfect our message, but to offer something true. Sorry, I needed a few more words there. I would now like us to rise in body or spirit as we sing our opening hymn, number 38, Morning Has Broken, in the gray hymnal.
Good morning. I would like to invite all of those who are young or young at heart to come forward for a story. All one of you. So we have a video of a book for you. The book is called Love by Matt De La Pena and Lauren Long.
Love, a picture book written by Matt De La Pena and illustrated by Lauren Long. In the beginning, there is light, and two wide-eyed figures standing near the foot of your bed, and the sound of their voices is love. A cab driver plays love softly on his radio while you bouncing back with the bumps of the city, and everything smells new, and it smells like life. Love, too, is the smell of crashing waves, and the train whistling blindly in the distance, and each night the sky above your trailer turns the color of love. In a crowded concrete park, you toddle toward summer sprinklers, while older kids skip rope and run up the slide, and soon you are running among them, and the echo of your laughter is love. On the night the fire alarm blares, you're pulled from sleep and whisked into the street, where a quiet old lady is pointing to the sky. Stars shine long after they've flamed out, she tells you. And the shine they shine with is love. You wake with a start in the arms of a loved one who bends to your ear and whispers, "It's okay, it's okay, it's love." And in time you learn to recognize a love overlooked. A love that wakes at dawn and rides to work on the bus. A slice of burnt toast that tastes like love. And it's love in each deep crease of your grandfather's face as he lowers himself onto an overturned bucket to fish. And it's love in the rustling leaves of gnarled trees lined behind the flower fields. And it's love in the made-up stories your uncles tell in the backyard between wild horseshoe throws. And the man in rags outside the subway station plays love notes that lift into the sky like tiny beacons of light. And the face staring back in the bathroom mirror, this too is love. So when the time comes for you to set off on your own. Heavy winds will sweep past your building, and great gray clouds will congregate above. Your loved ones will stand there like puddles beneath their umbrellas, holding you tight and kissing you and wishing you luck. But it won't be luck you'll leave with, because you'll have love. You'll have love, love, love.
And now let us join together in singing the children out.
Idea, Ivan. Does this work so much better? So let's do this, because then the folks at home can hear me. So we've come to the part in our service for joys and concerns. So what I'd love to do is offer a moment for people to come forward, share a joy or concern. Know that the service is live streamed, so your joy or concern you share will be able to be shared with the wider world as well, and we do archive the services. But this is a really great opportunity. We do this in the summer where people get to come up. So I'll invite you up here so folks can hear. And I can also walk around with a candle if folks want one too. So I'm going to offer anybody to come on up. We'll use this mic here.
Hi, Devon McClurken. I just wanted to share a joy. My family, Jean and Olson and I, just got back this morning from camping. We did the family camping trip, and a few other families, church families were there. And we just had a wonderful time. We got to go canoeing. We had s'mores. We made good food. And it was just, it was wonderful.
Good morning. I am very blessed and full of joy and yes, love, because my husband Bill and I are celebrating our 50th wedding anniversary this month. So I'm very grateful for that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'd now like for us to I'm going to light one final candle for all the joys and concerns which we carry in our hearts, but yet remain unspoken. We'll have a moment of silence, out of which we will sing our centering hymn, which is number 100 in the gray hymnal. I've got peace like a river. You all know it. And then we'll lead into the rest of our service. Thank you. Good job, everybody. Good job. For the second reflection, we are going to start with a virtual Dan Spencer, and then turn it over to our other two folks who are here to join us. Thank you.
Hi, Wes from the UK. I'm going to read for you my statement that I've prepared as part of this service. Thanks for giving me the time. I really appreciated working on it with all the coming of age students and mentors. Here we go. A credo is a statement of what you believe that guides how you act. So here's my view on my actions. I spend most of my non-work hours with my family. I have a great partner and 3 goofy kids. I'm genuinely happy to be in the house with them, even on days when it feels like I'm making the same correction for the 100th time. And whenever they go away, I get lonely and unsettled. I sometimes find parenting to be exhausting, but at the end of a long day, when everyone's in bed and I'm ready to fall asleep, I feel deeply satisfied because they will be around after I'm gone. I also spend my work week solving puzzles all day. I've always loved that. I write code, I think abstractly, I run experiments and see what comes out. I have a curiosity about the world and I want to see how it works and experience as much of it as I can. I also really like to run outside year-round. I run 10 miles to work twice a week, as well as running in the fells and other places around Winchester. When I run, I feel connected to the space I'm living in. I get to know the streets of the community. I hear the birds, and sometimes I see a coyote. I run because it feels good. Not always the best when I'm getting up and getting ready, but it's a type 2 type of fun. It's satisfying when it's done. I chose the work I do because I've always wanted to help people. I wanted to work on the climate because climate action feels urgent to me and I want to be a part of addressing it. And I built the family I have because I wanted to feel connected to people and to find real meaning in those connections. That's the core of who I am. I want to give my time to help people. Sometimes I promise a little bit more time than I mean to, and I want to have fun doing it. Solving puzzles, thinking in new ways, reading, and staying curious. So if I had to name what guides my actions in summary, it's this: to help people the best way I know how, through volunteering, through learning, through sharing, and through connecting with others. That's what really guides me. Thanks.
Being a part of the Coming of Age mentoring program was a wonderful experience for me. Even though my mentee had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts, I found the time spent with the other mentors and mentees interesting and insightful. And it made me appreciate our church so much. I would have loved to have had such an opportunity to discover what my heart believes in when I was a teen, but that wasn't on offer then, so I'm happy for the encouragement to do so now. So here's my attempt at putting it into words. One of the most important things to me, which is the root of everything, I think, is kindness. I very strongly believe in our shared UU value of the inherent worth and dignity of everyone, even people I disagree with. So very many things in this world would be so much, much better if people would just really listen to one another without judgment before deciding to agree or disagree. And disagreement can be handled with compassion when there's understanding. Everyone should be respected and treated with kindness and fairness. I believe in justice for all, especially the most marginalized. And I don't want to look back on my life and realize that I didn't have the courage to speak up when it's clear that our country is going to be on the wrong side of history. I believe that everyone should be given a chance to live a good life. Opportunities should not be hoarded by the elite. Money should not be left in the hands of a tiny number of people. Nobody needs more money than they can spend in a lifetime. You can use rice to visualize how staggeringly large $1 billion is. 1,000 grains of long grain white rice amounts to about a heaping tablespoon. 1 million grains is about 60 pounds. 1 billion grains of rice would weigh 15.63 metric tons. Think of how many pounds of rice can be put to use for healthcare, education, and infrastructure without making a noticeable dent. I approach people assuming that there's something to like in everyone. As I've grown, I've come to understand that people have their own issues, that the people who have hurt me are themselves hurt, and that everybody makes mistakes. Maybe they've learned and changed, maybe they haven't, but I don't need to let their cloud hang over my life. I'm positive that everyone has something that makes them special. It's important to listen to befriend, and try to understand people who think differently than we do. Each of us has our own ideas about what happiness looks like, what success looks like, and our definitions of those things are valid, even if they don't look like anyone else's. I don't measure the worth of a life in usefulness. Much better to weigh it in kindness, love, and joy. Some people want everybody to be the same, to hold them to the same standards as their own. I believe that we'll learn so much more from people who aren't trying to be just like everybody else. Everyone's entitled to their own beliefs, and nobody is entitled to force them on anyone else. I suspect that everyone's at least a little quirky in their own way, and they just need the freedom to express it. I love it when people aren't afraid to show off their eccentricities. I vehemently believe that everyone should be allowed and encouraged to be their authentic selves, no matter how weird that may seem to someone else, as long as they're not hurting anybody. I believe that we all benefit when we support people so they can become the best of whoever they are. Understanding how others see things is key to making the world a better place. When I think about how incredibly infinitesimal we are in the universe, it makes me feel insignificant, but in a comforting way. If what I do doesn't make that much difference in the grand scheme of things, I feel less pressure to do everything perfectly or to be bound by what others might think. Anything I can manage that makes something better is enough. Anything I can do to brighten up our tiny corner of the world has an impact. I believe very strongly in taking care of our planet and not using it up and throwing it away and making things a problem for someone else to clean up in the future. I believe in the worth of every creature, although I admit to having trouble with ticks and mosquitoes. I believe in the value of all of nature and that we have a responsibility to care for our environment, for everything on our planet, and for everyone. And I believe in my heart that we should do it with kindness. Thank you.
One of my earliest memories is sitting on my dad's lap during the children's story at the Denver American Baptist Church where my mother and I attended. He was a seminary student at the time, training to be a Methodist minister. He wasn't my biological father, but he was my dad during a profoundly influential period in my life. My mom tells a story about how we ran into him at a grocery store when I was little, and I walked right up to him and asked him if he was God. She says he fell in love with me before he fell in love with her, and they married when I was 4, and then he was called to a church in Iowa, and thus I became a PK, preacher's kid, moving every 3 to 4 years to a different church. Despite growing up as a despite growing up as a farm kid in rural Iowa, my dad held incredibly progressive beliefs. My mother had to remind him to tone it down for the small rural congregations we were a part of. He taught me that everyone has worth and that a diversity of ideas is essential. And he painted a picture of a loving, caring God watching over me. Unfortunately, though my dad had so much love to give, he struggled with his own demons, and he passed away from liver failure when I was 12, just 36 years old. My mom was eventually set up by my dad's sister with a man who attended a non-denominational conservative church, and she remarried when I was 13. That environment was a sharp, painful contrast to what my dad had taught. I was told that the feelings I was developing for other girls were wrong, and that I shouldn't have a voice, and that I should submit to men. I felt like I could never squeeze myself into their rigid expectations of who I should be and what I should believe. I struggled to find sincerity in their faith or the love behind their ideas. I left that environment behind as soon as I could. Ironically, my escape began during a church youth group trip to Boulder, Colorado. I was supposed to be cold calling people to evangelize on campus, but when I saw the University of Colorado, I just knew. I returned to Colorado for college, where I found room to breathe, and I joined a group called United Ministries in Higher Education, led by a gay woman minister, where we engaged in service trips and explored different faith traditions. I attended my first Unitarian Universalist service then, though it'd be a few more years before I truly found my spiritual home. After college, I moved to Boston for love and a career, and I quickly fell in love with the city. During this time, I stepped away from anything spiritual or organized, but that changed when I met a group of graduate students in social work, including Jean. I immediately identified with the social work ethics and values she embodied: service, social justice, dignity, integrity, and competence. We married after she graduated and moved back to Colorado so I could pursue animal-assisted social work at a top-tier program. Once I graduated from school and I had a few more big life changes, Jean and I decided we wanted to be part of a community again before trying to grow our family. Jean had also grew up Methodist, so we tried a Methodist service. And while the nostalgia aspect was definitely there, it didn't fit with our current beliefs. We went to a Quaker meeting, as we found many of the beliefs of the Quakers to align with ours. However, we learned that at a Quaker meeting, no one speaks unless the Spirit moves them. At the one we went to, no one was moved, so we sat in silence for 45 minutes. Jean absolutely loved it. She got into a great meditative state. I, however, could just hear the person next to me breathing. And then we walked into a UU service, and it happened to be a coming-of-age service. And we watched the 8th graders share their Credo statements. We were floored by their critical thinking, their honesty, and their diversity of thought. We sat there and bawled. We had found our home. Finding UU didn't just give us a community. It gave me a language for the values I've held my whole life. The mission of social work and the 12 principles of my recovery community reinforced the UUA's 7 principles: justice, equity, the inherent worth of every person, and the interdependence of all existence, to name a few. I carry these principles into my work with housing insecure young adults in Boston every single day. I have to advocate for their dignity and worth at every step of the way. I also know that I'm not the one that will change their lives, and they have their own authority and ability to make the change for themselves. And God, I cannot define a higher power, nor do I want to. My idea of God is no longer that man on the lap I thought embodied the divine, nor the God I was told wanted me to deny who I was. My idea of God has morphed into an embodiment of love and energy, that inexplicable feeling of vastness and power that is always expanding, yet always present. We are all made of the same stardust and energy, and we are in communion with one another. My understanding of that love was forever altered the day our child Olson joined our family. Every day he reminds me that life isn't about me or us, it's about everybody. And he feels that one of his jobs in life is to make babies smile, and I will gladly spend my life doing just that with him.
Thank you to all of our coming-of-age mentors. I'm like crying right now. We have come to another important tradition in our service, the offering. The offering is a spiritual practice, which is a collective affirmation of our shared values, our commitment to the mission of this liberal congregation. At this point, the offering will now be generously given and gratefully received. It is now my pleasure to invite those who wish to do so to join us in the words of the unison affirmation, which are found in your order of service, so everyone can follow along. We gather not for ourselves alone, but to use our common power to build the beloved community within and beyond these walls. We create and reaffirm this covenant this day to make justice flourish, to practice compassion amidst difference, and to embody transformative love. We're now going to all join together in our closing hymn, which is in the teal hymnal if you need it, but I think most of you know this one. Number 1021, Lean on Me. And as Chris starts playing, we're just going to get right into singing. We're not going to wait we're just going to get right into it, right? That's what we're doing? Okay. I don't know if I should say on your mark, get set, go, but...
And now, our closing words and benediction. A House Called Tomorrow by Alberto Rios. You are not 15 or 12 or 17. You are 100 wild centuries. And 15, bringing with you in every breath and every step, everyone who has come before you, all the yous that you have been, the mothers of your mother, the fathers of your father. If someone in your family tree was trouble, 100 were not. The bad do not win, not finally, no matter how loud they are. We simply would not be here if that were so. You are made fundamentally from the good. With this knowledge, you never march alone. You are the breaking news of the century. You are the good who has come forward through it all, even if so many days feel otherwise. But think, when you as a child learned to speak, it's not that you didn't know words. It's that from the centuries you knew so many, and it's hard to choose the words that will be your own. From those centuries, we human beings bring with us the simple solutions in songs, the river bridges and star charts and song harmonies, all in service to a simple idea that we can make a house called tomorrow. What we bring finally into the new day, every day, is ourselves. And that's all we need to start. That's everything we require to keep going. Look back only for as long as you must, then go forward into the history you will make. Be good, then better. Write books, cure disease, make us proud, make yourself proud. And those who came before you, when you hear thunder, hear it as their applause.
I want to say a huge thank you to Chris for filling in on the piano. Chris, thank you very much. It's a tough job. We appreciate it. And thank you to all the coming of age mentors. Without the handheld, I'm going to do this here. So please join me together in saying the words for extinguishing our chalice. They're found in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. So our service has ended, but our life of service continues. So please join us in the Sims room where we can have some coffee, conversation, and food. I do not know if we're doing I don't know if we're doing an after discussion session today like we normally do for summer services. We have 3 mentors, one of them virtual. So we will find out and let you know. But thank you all very much for being here again. Thank you, Chris. Good job.